Right, Dan. I've been thinking this week about ways we can advertise the podcast.
Okay, should be good. What you got?
I've got a number of ideas. Firstly, I was thinking we could load the pod onto flash drives and we can hand deliver them to listeners.
I don't think we've got the budget for that. I mean, and the time. It's going to be a nightmare.
All right. You're going to love this one. How about we change our names? I was thinking you could be Gordon Freeman and I could be Commander Shepard.
Dude, I'm not changing my name. I mean, I don't mind Gordon, but I like Dan. And to be fair, I'm married and I'd have to change all those accounts. And I ain't doing that.
All right. What about parachutes? So you and I jump out of a plane. One of our parachutes says gaming. The other one says views.
Nope.
Beaming our logo onto the moon.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Look, dude, let's just send out some social media tweets.
Social media tweets. So, I'm about his promotions, and he says just send the social media tweet. Social media tweet. Dan with a gaming flair, pixel dreams and worlds to share, joystick tales and button cues. Welcome to Gaming Views. Hi, welcome to this week's Gaming Views. Dan and I are still together. What you will have noticed was we had a little disagreement beforehand, but that is a promotional stunt, which handily ties into this week's episode. So let's introduce this episode properly. Welcome back to Gaming Views, a podcast that delivers you a weekly dose of gaming goodness. I'm Dan P, and today's episode is all about one of the more chaotic elements of gaming. That is promotions. From wild collabs to fast food tie-ins, there's not many things that haven't been tried, but today's episode will specifically focus on those stunts that really, and I mean really, try to push the envelope. With me, as always, is a man who doesn't need flashy gimmicks to grab people's attention. It's Dan H. Hi, Dan.
Hello, mate. I don't actually have any flashy gimmicks, other than you really caught me on the hop there. I was a face full of stuffing randoms while you started, and I was just, oh my God, I'm just chewing my face off. Hi, evening.
That was a dramatic opening, wasn't it?
I really enjoyed that. I like your dramatic openings.
How about...
I think you should do them all the time. I mean, not just when we're playing multiplayer games, to be fair.
Oh, let's...
We can discuss last night later.
Yeah, we'll go on to that after. But yeah, all right, look. Well, we'll probably come into this. Dan, what have you been playing?
What have I been playing? I have been playing an awful lot of Borderlands 4. I hit level 30 this evening. So I think the cap's 50 or thereabouts. Well, what was weird, when I hit level 30, I did get a ping for an achievement that said, well done for hitting level 50. So that was nice. I'm not saying the game's buggy, a little bit. So yeah, I've really been enjoying that. It is, I think I've said before, it's kind of more open world. It's a bit more manic and a bit more chaotic when you get lots of enemies on site. There are a few frustrations which have been broadly spoken about in the press, one of which is the cure for your game getting a bit laggy after an hour or so. It's just turn it off and on again. That was their advice. Just turn it off and on again. And that's what you want to do as a console gamer in particular. You want to be playing for an hour and then go, oh, it's slowing down a little bit, you know, and there's a few screen tears and the frames per second's dropping rapidly. I'll just turn it off and on again. That won't disrupt anything. Yeah. Fuck them, idiots. Other than that, I'm really enjoying it as a game. And then, yeah, we got our Helldivers on again. We served some Liberty to people, and it was some sweet hot cups of Liberty, and it was mucho fun as always. I said to Joey last night, I don't think any game has the right to be that much fun in multiplayer, to be honest.
It's funny, isn't it, the turnaround? Because I remember you mentioned it on here a few weeks back, where you said you tried it obviously solo, and you didn't like it. But it's amazing the difference, like true co-op experience in a game. Oh, it's night and day, isn't it?
Which reminds me, go and watch our episode in one of the corners from last week about multiplayer and the evolution of multiplayer, because we kind of talk about that history and we talk about all the goodies and goodness that it brings to the gaming community. And while you're there, please do like and subscribe. I'm trying to do housekeeping up front this week.
Nicely done.
Thank you, mate. What have you been playing though?
Oh, what have I been playing? Before we get into that, while you're doing that, I also want to say, if you happen across a newsagent this week, or you happen to see Retro Gamer magazine, please do pick it up. It's the one with Shinobi on the front, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah, because the wonderful Ian Lee name checks us, doesn't he, in his column? And
I had a little warm glow when he did that.
It was amazing. It was because I got a message from an old colleague of mine. When was it? Saturday night now, wasn't it? I think. Yeah, and he messaged me and said, "Is this you?" And he sent me the page because he clearly subscribes to it digitally. So so we're in this month's, or the latest edition. Sorry, and I've got a copy on its way to me.
Oh,
so,
you managed to find a physical one?
Yeah.
Because literally all I've seen is when you sent me that message, I was in VR, obviously, and you sent me on WhatsApp, it pinged up, and I opened it, and it doesn't do pictures very well in VR. I just got this blurry thing with the little Ian Lee thing that they have. So I knew it was him, and I was like, what is he sending me? And then got it on my phone and was like, oh my God. And so, I was super chuffed.
Yeah, so thank you, Ian, for that.
A legend.
Yeah. What have I been playing? Not much, weirdly. A couple of review games coming up. I might as well, I'll name these. So we're going to see them in the next.
I think you name. You're always a bit coy about them. I think it's fine to talk about what you've been playing.
Teasing. It would have come out last week. Just trying to work out last week. So played Ghost of Time, which is a fun little puzzler.
Albeit they can't spell.
Yeah.
Which is,
well, it's linked to something in the game. I'm not saying anything.
Oh,
but
that's why. Yeah,
it's very Braid-like, but a lot more straightforward than that. Right. That's what I'll say. A horror game called Mortis Omum, but this week I played Deepest Trench, which is the underwater game. But not going to say anything. Stay tuned for the review in a few weeks' time for that one.
I'm looking forward to editing and seeing that one because, I've seen the videos.
Outside of that, what have I played? Oh, I started a new game. I was telling you Saturday night. Echoes of the End.
Yes, sounded quite intriguing.
I think it's that way around. Yeah, Echoes of the End. It was a game like you I'd not heard of. Saw it on the Xbox sales and had a look. Yeah, and it's just at the moment anyway, because I'm very early on, a fun third-person action adventure.
I love a third-person action adventure, especially a fun one.
And it looks good. It's odd though. I hope it kind of gets a bit more complex because you start with literally just one attack, which is the RB button. Yeah, and I think you have to unlock them. So now I've got a heavy attack now with the right trigger, which is weird. It's funny. We should do an episode one day on.
We should do a game podcast. Let's do that one week. Let's see how that goes.
Let's do it. Go on. You mentioned it earlier, so we played some Helldivers.
Did.
And what was it? I can't remember what happened, right? Because it's obviously a game where friendly fire can
I still have no idea what happened because I thought I'd upset you and then you got in a strop with Joey.
It was a bit of theatre. It was a bit of theatre. You did something. I can't remember what you did, but then I remember saying, don't test me, Dan, because I could be a real petty bleep.
Bitch.
Or
motherfucker. One or the other. I'll say it. It's fine. You're not playing. It's fine.
Yeah. So I could be real petty person when I'm annoyed. And then Joey said something. And then what was funny was, like I said, I then went silent.
He told you to man up, I think is what he did.
Possibly. But then I thought, you know what? Let's. I love doing a little bit of theatre. So I went silent and you two were both saying, everything all right? And I was trying not to giggle because I didn't want to mute the mic. And then we got back on the ship and Joey's got this emote where you can approach him, press a button and the two characters hug. And I love a good hug. But I was hoping he'd notice. I kept running away from him. So he would come up to me and I would run away. And then he said something to you, didn't he? He goes, I'm trying to hug Dan, but he keeps running away. And I said, all right, come here then. So I hugged him. And I then said, and he goes, there we go. And I said, yeah, but I was thinking of Tim, his brother, while I was doing that. And then he goes, all I hear him say is, words hurt, Dan. And then he just quit the game, didn't he?
He not only quit the game and booted us out. So we were then, I don't understand what's happened now. And this is why I got really confused. I was like, I don't know what's happened.
Well,
Because I thought I'd really annoyed everybody, and I was like, "No, I'm on my own on my ship. What's happened?" And then you were still talking, so that was fine.
No, it was all a bit of theatre, and
It was all very amdram.
Yeah, and a bit like our intro. So look, in honour of Joey, and to make amends, we are going to hear the trailer from the wonderful Game Club.
That Tsunami?
Welcome to my friendly game club where everyone is welcome. The podcast where we share, we play, we run and sing. Well, we don't run, but we do sing.
Hey kids, are you looking for a new favourite fortnightly video game review podcast?
Then boy howdy have we got the show for you.
We take a different game every 2 weeks and we review them just like a book club.
You can find us on all good podcasting platforms.
And some of the sketchy ones too.
Simply search for the Game Club podcast and join the club today.
Through the magic, I hope, of Dan's editing, you're not going to see the absolute shambles that was sort of behind the scenes. I really don't
they will.
feel...
If they stay past the credits, they'll see it.
I don't feel prepared for this tonight. Oh, it's not like we haven't done this for like 4
You don't
months.
feel prepared. You literally told me not to prepare. I've done nothing. I was like, I'll just wait and see
You didn't listen
I
to
wanna see
it,
the
did you?
reactions.
Oh, it's the shortest episode ever. So I hope what I told you last week was that, so we're going to talk about promotions, sort of marketing promotions, but I want to focus more on some of the big stunts that...
Careful.
Yeah, careful. The big stunts that some of the companies have done. But it also got me thinking generally about promotions. And you know what was funny? I was watching an episode of the new Dexter Resurrection.
It's good.
It is, isn't it? And in one of the episodes, they're playing, the version, I can't remember the guy's name, but the version of Mad World that played on the original Gears of War advert.
Yes. I was only listening to it the other day because of our fucking podcast. Him.
Yeah, it'll come to mind. And it was funny because my wife at the time, she heard that song. She goes, "Oh, that's a nice version of that
Gary.
song." I want to say
Gary Jules.
I was going to say I had Jules in my head.
Gary Jules.
Yeah,
Something like that.
you're probably fine. It's like Bob Jones or something.
Gary.
And I said to her, I said they used it on an advert for an Xbox game years ago, Gears of War, and we played the advert, and just forget how it looks a bit dated now, but sort of at the time how stunning an advert that was, because we kind of hadn't had anything like that, had we?
It was beautiful. I've got it in my head while I was finding the clips and stuff. I think it was Gears of War 2 or 3 it was for, though, wasn't it? It wasn't for the first one, I don't think.
I thought it was the first one. And then they might have repeated it for the second or third, to try to sort of capture the magic.
Maybe. I don't know. But stick in the comments. Tell us who's right or who's wrong, or we're both talking out of our arse just for Halo. I don't know.
But and then generally, I was thinking, because you're going to hear some of obviously the examples I've got.
Very excited.
But do you think that gaming has had a bit of an identity crisis when it's come to promotion? Because we've had, you've got the normal sort of, I want to say normal adverts, the very sort of TV orientated ones and mags.
Yeah.
And then you've got some really bizarre ones and promo stunts. And then, to use Xbox again, they kind of got a bit edgy when they had an advert banned. Do you remember the birth to death advert? Where the baby's born,
vaguely, where the baby's in, you see
comes
it come
flying out,
Yeah,
and then ends up in the grave, and that got banned, because it was too much.
Oh, that's basically my life. I mean, they were fairly accurate. It does feel how it's gone in terms of, if I look at it through gaming's eyes, I'm just like that. I'm sure that something happened, and then I'm dead.
Well, and I'm thinking, because, and we've said it a number of times on our show, right, that gaming initially was for kids, and now those kids like us have grown older, I should say. We've grown old. And maybe has the studios, have they tried to keep up with that mature audience, but at its heart, people still see gaming as a family friendly or kid pastime?
Yeah, I think it's a really, I think it's a really tough nut to crack. I think they're probably one of the most fickle audiences for marketing and for, trying to capture the moment. Sony have always been exceptionally good at that kind of thing, not without their own controversies, obviously, in some of the stuff they've done. But, and we talked about it with Ian about, how they put, PlayStations in nightclubs and things like that to really build the momentum behind the PS1, mainly because, people were doing lots of drugs and were playing Wipeout, so, they kind of knew the audience, but they did it in a way that kind of circumvented being obvious about it.
Yeah.
But I do think it's a genuine, which is why I think you often find personal opinions, and why I think you often find it's like one end of the spectrum or the other. It's completely undersold, or it's just like here's a nice trailer, here's a trailer for a trailer, or whatever it is they do these days. And then it goes to the extremes at the other end, which we have talked about before about, we'll have a zombie shelter with your friend Steve who can teach you how to hunt zombies. And, it goes to the complete obscure end of the spectrum rather than where's the happy medium. You're either in trouble or you're not. And it's a bit Candyland. I think Nintendo are quite good at it, but Nintendo, I think, again, they know their audience. They've kind of gone family friendly oriented. And I think they're going to start struggling now, because a lot of the more mature content, the, Cyberpunks and the CODs and things like that will start coming out on a console that is now probably powerful enough to run, or certainly seems to be. So I think they'll start getting a bit unstuck with this stuff now and kind of go, it's a bit tricky, this market, and get like stuff in it.
Yeah. It's funny because I don't think there are many companies that haven't been touched by a bit of the controversy. So even Sony, I haven't got it on my list, but I think wasn't one of their adverts once pulled for kind of like racial tones, wasn't it? I think, was it a new PSP? I think that, yeah.
And there'll be also, there's so many pitfalls. It's even worse these days, right? Everything is either woke or it's, against the right, or it's, so there's so many places you could go wrong. I wouldn't want to work for a marketing team these days, particularly not for a video game.
Yeah. And this was the thing that hit me this week, was that I think that they've tried to have the marketing mature as the gamers have matured. But people, and when I say people, I think I'm talking about the media and the press, can't get away from the fact that gaming is something for all ages. And I think in their head still see it as, it's little Billy playing Mario.
Totally. It's always going to it's always going to be tarred with that brush, right? It's always going to be that thing that kids do. Which is, you and I, a testament to the fact that's just complete bollocks these days, right? And we're not the only ones, right? And there's a huge, just by some of our guests, there's huge amounts of people on there who are our age or older or slightly younger who love gaming and love playing games. So, that maturity of advertising, things like that, you're right. They do, that's quite often falls on the harmless kind of, squeaky clean image, because it is kind of targeted at kids. And yet I can probably guarantee that 50% of the people who play Fortnite are not a child.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's like, but like I said, marketing's a tricky thing. It's either that or you just get Randy Pitchford to open his mouth. One or the other, you're going to get press about a game, right? So
what did it? Oh yeah, because I was going to say, when you were talking about it last week, we were talking on the way to work, weren't we? That he should probably
Dan and I now travel to work together. We don't just walk the dog and do a podcast. Dan now works in London a couple of days a week. We also get on the train together. We might as well move in at this point.
What I was going to say is, what people don't know is, Dan, you're just literally there, aren't you? Do you need this pen, Dan?
No, thanks.
We will say that he probably needs to step away from the social media accounts at the company, because he was literally right. Not being trying to be, say, neutral. I think he was trying to do the right thing in his head, I think, wasn't he? But he was basically, people were talking about issues with the game, as you alluded to.
Yeah.
And he became, basically tech support. But it felt like it was getting snarkier and snarkier in certain responses, wasn't it?
Totally. He's learned his lesson, because he has been particularly aggressive previously about stuff, and now he's just passive aggressive. in a really snarky, shitty way.
I want to try and find the quote because we're talking about. I mean, but the thing is, it had the game in the press, right? And I think, here we go. He said, every PC gamer must accept the reality of the relationship between their hardware and what the software they are doing, or what they are running is doing. And deep down, he's got a point. But I think it's the way he says it and the way he does it, and his history as well. I think with some PR.
No press is bad press, right? I mean, it's got people talking about him and therefore talking about the game. Great for them. But and we got into this conversation, right? This is all about DLSS and how it impacts the game, and how a lot of I'll take that back. How some developers are now coding with DLSS in mind because it picks up some of the slack that they have to worry about, which is apparently what has happened with Borderlands 4. And therefore, people with a $2,500 card that should be able to run the thing at 120 frames a second without even blinking are struggling to run it at 60 frames a second because they've got DLSS switched off. It's silly things like that. But, we're talking about marketing, we're talking about press, we're talking about, and he is a mouthpiece. I mean, he owns the company, right? So, I mean, if it gets him numbers, viewers, whatever it is he's after, it works, right? Yeah. And he's not the only one. There are plenty of mouthpieces out there for video games of their own, that they've created. But I do get it. I can empathise, right? If I'd spent years labouring away on a hard piece of work, if I had a crew of people who'd spent years labouring away on a hard piece of work, you'd feel, like you had to defend the end product because what was the point otherwse? If you just turned around and went, yeah, you're right as shit, innit?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like...
And that is the thing with PC gaming, right? Is there are so many variations of hardware out there, right?
Oh yeah, totally. Like not just GPUs, but your processors, everything is like you have to manage everything, and that's why sometimes console gaming is slightly easier. Frustratingly, on the same subject of Borderlands 4, like I said earlier, the problem is it's now affecting Xbox. So when you're playing for a longer period of time, frame rate starts stuttering and dropping. The whole experience becomes vaguely broadly unplayable. And you can read that on Digital Foundry, by the way. You watch their thing on it. It's brilliant. But it's an unacceptable thing from, because that is a single piece of hardware.
Yeah,
I don't even think it's out on the S. So.
No, I forgot that you got it on the Xbox. Yeah, I just, again, instinctively thought, I was thinking PC, but...
No, I did play it this evening briefly on streaming on Xbox Game Pass on the PC. Same problem. After about an hour, just starts getting a bit janky and you're just like, I'll restart. But I didn't. I just turned it off.
So on advertising, are there any adverts or promotions that stand out to you? Is there anything that kind of grabs your attention or memory?
There's one that I do remember, and I can't remember what it was specifically, but it was our favourite Skyrim.
Oh, right.
And it was about naming your baby after. Yeah. Was it Dovahkiin?
Dovahkiin. Yeah, I've got that here.
Yeah. So I remember that one, and I'm sure there was another similar baby naming, and you got.
There was another one.
It was either money or free games for life or something, and it was. I think it was either slightly before or slightly after, but they all kind of jumped on that whole, and it just feels fucking weird.
But I mean, I'm thinking even like just say TV commercials. I mean, because I'm talking at the moment generally.
Oh, well, outside of gaming?
But, was there any? No, I meant gaming. But is there any? Because gaming did really jump up a gear, sort of. I think 2000. So the one
some of my favourites were like the PlayStation one with the weird Scottish alien girl. I mean, things like that that stick in your memory, and they're not controversial, but they're just No. I mean, I'll have to admit, I don't watch a lot of terrestrial TV and haven't done for years, so I don't see many adverts, I guess. I mean, you do now because all of the streaming services now give you adverts. Although I do pay for some of them to get rid of them because I don't like them. But yeah. Well,
the one that I really remember, other than the Gears of War one now, was, do you remember, was it Dead Island?
Yes.
That was a really good one. And that showed how you could
I saw that in the cinema, actually.
Oh, did you?
That's where I saw that one, yeah.
Oh, but that showed how you could do a mature advert in the right way.
Was that with the jogger? Was that one? Was
No, this was the one in the. So, it turned out to be controversial in the sense of it wasn't gameplay, I think. It was like a made for TV or made for film commercial, but it was one where it's played backwards, wasn't it? So, wasn't it where like the little girl was a zombie? I do
remember. I will find it. I now you say little girl. I'm in vague recollections of it. You got to remember, I'm old and my brain don't work.
And I think it goes back to
the one
she'd fallen out a window and she was attacking the dad, I think, with horde of zombies. But yeah.
The one I remember was the jogger one that they did. It might have been Dead Island 2, where the guy's jogging and suddenly it turns into he's running away from zombies. Starts out with that, a little bit like an Apple advert, and he's running and it's like, but it's all the zombies after him. That's the one I was thinking of. They'll both be available on YouTube, no doubt. I'll find them.
Yeah, there you go. So yeah,
get done for copyright.
Yeah. You're a very naughty boy.
Ironically.
Yeah. So, I mean, just an overview. So, and feel free if there's anything in here before we get into some of the examples. So, advertising, as with gaming itself, kind of started in the 70s and 80s. And at this point, it was very basic. It was localized. So the first, what I found, promotional stunt is in 1974 with Pong. And what they did, so what they did was Nolan Bushnell, Atari founder, decided to basically go to a local bar in California, set up a Pong machine where nobody had ever seen a game before.
Right.
And basically, set up, almost encourage people to come. So they said, the goal was to get people intrigued, curious about the game. And it worked as Pong became an instant hit. And, it just shows how simple it was back then. It was like, well, no one's ever seen this. So the shock factor is let's get a game in there.
It's easy when no one's ever done it before, isn't it? It's much harder now. Look, it's a first person shooter. No one's, everyone's seen one of those.
Exactly.
But when you haven't seen anything like, controlling a stick and hitting a square ball around the screen, it must be, must have been like magic.
Yeah. And then that led to the 80s with arcade promotions. You had like Pac-Man tournaments, etc. So it was more kind of like in-person, more events rather than sort of what we think of promotion now. So that led to the 90s where you had the console era, and that was more TV commercials, rivalries, high-budget adverts, and trade shows, using trade shows like E3 to create the buzz. We said before ourselves on here, so in the 90s you had Sonic the Hedgehog and Sega's Genesis does what Nintendo don't.
Yeah,
and using
it's a great phrase.
Yeah, it really is, isn't it? And using Sonic, heavily in adverts for them. There was a Final Fantasy VII at the E3 reveal, which was like another example of like really building up hype at a show. I mean,
see, I love it when they do that. I love it when they do not a shadow drop. I love shadow drops even more, but I do love it when they do one last thing and it's something you've not been expecting at all, and you're just like, I didn't even know that was happening. But now nothing's a surprise anymore.
Yeah.
Like everything leaks.
Exactly. And this was like 97, and so the Final Fantasy VII reveal was claimed to be one of the first gaming hypes at an event. And like you said, and I think that's why we sometimes feel deflated when we've watched some of the shows this year. Not because things on a show aren't good. It's just where's that gut punch at the end? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We then had the.
I think, and when we talk about things that you weren't expecting, two of the biggest things that we saw in either the Summer Games Fest or Gamescom Live, or the opening night, was at Summer Games Fest. It was that Romeo Must Die, or was that a Jet Li film?
That was a Jet Li film, but it had Romeo. I'm sure it had Romeo.
Something killed something, but that looked incredible, and I'd never heard of it before.
Yeah.
It's not a Jet Li film. And then Densha Attack, which we've spoken about before, which looked amazing. Yeah. Right? And it's just like those sort of things that you're like, I didn't even know of their existence. And yet when they dropped them, and albeit the Densha Attack one was in the pre-show, like the trailer for the trailers.
Yeah.
But it looked phenomenal. But I love that when that happens.
But that's the thing, to go to what you were saying as well, it's like those shows used to be the whole point of them felt like it was hype. It was to kind of, say to you, you thought you knew what you were going to be playing this year. Well, just one more thing, which kind of leads into this. So when you hit 2000s, you've got the internet and the online era. So marketing and promotions turned more into viral marketing, forums, teasers, community-driven event. Yeah. So there was some I'd forgotten until I'd seen this, and it kind of sort of struck a chord. So Halo did traditional ads, online teasers, and I'm sure one of the games later on did it may not have been Halo, but I thought it was, did some, what's the word, hidden things in adverts and pages to try.
So Halo are famous for doing this. So Bungie are famous for doing this, not just Halo. They've done it with Destiny. They've done it with a bunch of other things. This is the, I can't remember the name for it now. The phrase that's used for,
no, not AR.
It's not AR. Alternate reality, although sometimes it might be with Bungie. Yeah. But but essentially, and I'll flash the thing up because I'll have remembered it, and then I'll put it in like I normally do with a bit of writing. You watch. But they're quite famous for doing this and dropping these little clues, and they've done it. They've put like codes in JPEGs, and people have downloaded it from the web and looked at the metadata and gone, oh, there's that thing, or it's a coordinate, or it's a brilliant, it's a really clever way of kind of this shadow marketing and on the cheap. It doesn't have to be expensive. Yeah. But Bungie are notorious for doing it. They've done it a number of times, and there's a couple of other studios that do this really well as well. I'm absolutely rubbish at those sorts of things. And what's more common these days is in the advertising, just being more up to date, is when they'll flash up a QR code in the background as something, either in a trailer or something, and then somebody spots it and scans it, and it leads them somewhere else. So they do that as well with kind of QR and stuff quite a lot. But I like it when it happens, and then I'll read about it because somebody else is smart enough to work it out.
It's funny you say that about the QR code. Last night, I finally watched the last handful of Black Mirror episodes.
Yes.
And in it, I can't remember the name. Is it Playthings or something? The one with the Tuckersoft, I keep forgetting his name, but the guy who's in the bear and he was at the end of Guardians of the Galaxy. Anyway, that's irrelevant. But he's the software developer who creates that game, and they flash up a QR code. So I used it, and basically Netflix have created a mobile game that it takes you to the store and download it.
You're talking about Will Poulter, and he doesn't flash up the end of Guardians of the Galaxy alone. He's also in Guardians of the Galaxy 3 for like the entire movie.
I'd forgotten
playing
that.
Adam Warlock. But it's fine. I mean, James Gunn won't be insulted at all, mate.
It's funny how I was thinking more about the bear, where he is.
Yeah, Will Poulter. He was also in one of the Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe movies. One of the Narnia films. Don't worry about that either.
But let's move on.
Fuck him and his acting career.
Let's move on. Will, if you want to come on here to talk about your acting career, absolutely.
And video games. He might be an avid gamer.
If anybody knows
send him a link.
Well,
at him on Twitter.
He played the key guy in, I think, Tuckersoft in Black Mirror, so he loves games. He's created them.
He developed them.
There you go. So
I think that might not be real, Dan. I think it might be made up for telly. Charlie Brooker, maybe we can get him on.
Yeah, so if you are Charlie Brooker or you know him, drop us a line.
We have name checked you.
Gaming Views.
James Gunn, we'll see if we can get him on as well. Okay, we'll go for the trifecta and see what happens.
Batista, if you're watching this.
Yeah, he might be an avid gamer. I mean, if we just name check multiple people, someo's got to tip up and go, yeah, I'll come on. It'll be a laugh.
Basically, if you're listening and you know anyone who likes games, get in touch. Right, back on track. Half-Life 2. Used G-Man, so they did iconic promotional campaigns using cryptic teaser videos and figures like the G-Man to promote it. Something I think you mentioned last week, World of Warcraft. I'm not going to say necessarily they pioneered it, but they used the in-game events. So, Fortnite are massively well known for doing now.
It was so far ahead of Fortnite in doing any of that stuff. And what was beautiful about that is they also did the things when, someone who had been playing for a long time or built a big community around them passed away. They did these morning events, which is a wonderful thing to do. Not at all about hyping the game, but I think it just, again, demonstrates that coming together in community that gamers are so passionate and brilliant about.
Yeah, yeah. No, absolutely. And Halo 3, yeah, that's the one I was thinking of. So they included live action trailers, merchandise, viral marketing, using hidden messages, and they had a midnight release event, which, do you remember the old midnight release?
Midnight. We've talked before about, I went to the one for Gears of War 3. I love the old midnight events. I think, did Halo 3, was it the one with the diorama that they did with they built an actual diorama for an advert, and then, everyone was going, it was 3D modeled, but it was a beautifully created in real life, diorama of, all of the, ODST and the Master Chief and everything. It's really cool.
Possibly. My memory is shocking on that. So,
that's good. I'm glad you're hosting this episode.
with that, we moved to the 2010s where, it was more social media and influencer marketing. So you had things like...
It's a real job now,
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Influencers.
Absolutely. We're on our way. We're on our way.
Too old.
We're on our way. Like Fortnite, I think I've just mentioned it. That feels like it's one of the big ones where you had a lot of the influencers playing it. In-game events like the Thanos crossover. We just saw recently the Gorillas.
Did you see this was big in the press when Epic took on Apple for their refusal to allow them on the App Store because it was...
Yes.
And they did... they put on a whole event in Fortnite with the screen with, it was like a fake, it wasn't Steve Jobs, but it was, that kind of character talking about, about this totalitarian society and this whole, again, I would argue they got a shitload of press for that. And attracted a lot of people to them from that, so all of this stuff all ties together. Is not strictly about selling yourself. It's about selling the idea of something as well. Yeah.
It's weird now how the two worlds have collided. Like we spoke to Ian, we've mentioned his name a few times about sort of the whole Twitch.
Who's Ian?
Ian Lee. The whole Twitch and YouTube kind of being gaming platforms pretty much now. That's when kind of like the 2010s you saw the influencers being given the games and starting to promote it, and ultimately into the 2020s now where it's immersive experience across platform stunts, Cyberpunk, using, really sort of, it felt like using ads for their game as almost like promoting a film, and I think it helps when you got Keanu Reeves as one of the stars
all day long, right? I mean, it's phenomenal, and a lot of them do live action. A lot of them these days have done it. Star Wars, the Jedi Survivor series, has they've done the Cal Kestis ones, not necessarily using the actor, but then they've done a spin-off or a spin on an advert where it's a kid, but then they turn around and they're dressed as a Jedi and they're fighting with lightsabers, and they tend to lean towards this kind of heavy live action advertising, to pull punters in and kind of get people onto it. I mean, it's an amazing industry all in its own, not just from gaming, but the advertising, the whole piece around it.
Yeah. Well, and this is it. I mean, one of the other big ones here is, again, Fortnite. So, they would have in-game concerts or concerts events. And I think, who've they had? I think haven't they had Sabrina Carpenter, I think. You've had, obviously, Gorillaz recently. And there's something else where, it was another band. And you just see people in game forming bands, which I don't get how it works, where you're in the middle of a shoot 'em up and you're then forming bands with randoms, which I actually think is really great. It's kind of that kind of bringing people together in a weird form of unity.
It's a very strange thing. I'm sure they've had loads. I'm sure the Lady Gaga's done one. I'm sure they've had, they're just, because it's massive. Like Fortnite is just a behemoth. I don't understand. I mean, I don't see the attraction. My daughter, I said before, my daughter plays it and she loves playing it and she's getting pretty good at it. I still sit and watch it and just go, I don't understand. I mean, it's a shooty, but it's like the matches last like she plays this blitz match now, and it lasts like less than 5 minutes, and I'm like, oh, is that fun?
Well, we just like our
Fortnite fans.
Big Boom Helldivers stuff, don't we?
I mean, that's fun.
And kind of like, so that's kind of like a real blitz through the different eras of promos. I mean, in the future, who knows? I mean, you've got a Meta Quest. It might be interesting if VR became more of a thing. Do they put you in the trailer? Could you do
God,
that?
people better hope not. That's the last thing I want to see. I mean, for evidence of that, just look at the promo at the beginning of the show. No one wants to see that though.
Yeah. So anyway, on that, because that's not really promoting us, Dan. Right, on that.
Sorry. So storm off.
No, it's not. Yeah. No, I'm knackered from that. I can't.
He just exhausted himself.
That winded me. That did. So I found, like I said, I've not picked a load because we'd be here sort of all night if we did some of the more sort
Got
of
time?
controversial.
If you're up for it.
Well, I haven't got the notes.
You're throwing them all over the place.
So I'll start with one of the simpler ones, like you said it yourself, so Skyrim. So Bethesda had a competition which had never been seen before at the time, and it was if somebody gave birth to a child on launch day and they named
Was it on? Oh,
yeah, yeah,
that's even worse.
yeah, and they named that child Dovahkiin, which was the moniker for Skyrim's protagonist, meaning Dragonborn. The publisher would reward them with a Steam key that will grant them, well, and hopefully the kid, every ZeniMax Bethesda game, past, present, and future for life.
Do you reckon Microsoft have rescinded that now? Now they've bought them. Or your contract is null and void.
Yeah, I mean, I was trying to look at it. So there was one couple. So where is it? We've got Eric and Megan Kellermeyer. They named little baby Dovahkiin and they introduced them to the world on the 11th of November.
American by any chance?
They are. Stop that.
Yeah. Okay, sorry. I was just checking.
Yeah,
love all American listeners. Hi, guys.
And so Bethesda sort of congratulated the Kellermeyers before getting in touch with them, sort out the reward. And it said, as for whether Bethesda is still living up to its promise of a lifetime supply of free games for the family, Megan can confirm that, the publisher had kept its word after all these years. I think this article was from a few years ago. She goes, if you saw my husband's Steam account and its trailing list, you'd see all the cool Bethesda games we received a code for and got for free. As my husband is the gamer, he definitely put it to good use. So, Dan.
Doesn't pay for the counselling bills for the kid, though, does it?
Well,
it doesn't.
This is what I was going to say. So,
fucking hell, poor kid.
You're having another kid.
You
right?
can't even shorten it.
Dove.
You can't, all right, Dovey.
Dove. Kin. Dover. D.
It's like all these people that after Game of Thrones come out and name their kid Khaleesi, and you're like,
yeah.
It's a fucking made up name, man. Like,
and I think
all names are made up. So I know what I'm talking about.
Well, why I picked this one is because I think it was one of the first ones where it kind of felt like it was invading is the wrong word, but invading the house and actually taking on something outside of the game. So you're actually affected someone's life. So, I mean, firstly though, the question is, you're expecting another kid. Would you name them Dovahkiin if it meant you got 3 games?
Let me be really clear. I'm not having any more fucking kids. I've got 4. I can't even put my brain in a state where it imagines having another child, Dan. That is where I've got to. However, for the sake of the podcast, I'll go to Fantasyland. Right? No, I would not. Not even for all the games. I've got Game Pass. It does the same thing. I mean, you'd be really pissed, wouldn't you? If you did that. And then a couple of years later, they went, all those Bethesda games, you're going to get them free on launch day from now on. I'm sorry, I'm what? I'm sorry. And I don't have to name my kid anything. No, you can do what you like.
I mean, it's probably, as names go, it's probably not the worst. I mean, it could have been Metal Gear Solid and you'd had to call him Solid Snake.
Snake's a cool name.
Yeah.
I mean, Snake Plissken. Like,
Plissken,
escaped from New York.
But yeah, I just found it incredible that
Snake.
people did it. And so you're right. There was another game I can't.
There is no accounting for stupidity. There is a level of stupidity out there. I mean, you only have to look at some of the things that have happened recently. That there's no accounting for it.
Well, the thing is, though, at least it was a cool game for it. So that kid, I'm going to assume now. I mean, this was what, sort of 10 years ago, was it? A bit more than that, something like that.
Yeah, maybe a bit more, but that kid's probably about my kid's age, 11, 12, something like that. And when, she goes to school with someone called Dovahkiin and someone goes, where did you get that name? And they go, oh, it was Skyrim. They're going to go, it was what? What's Skyrim? I don't know what that is.
It's a game you can play on your toaster.
If he's talking to a 40-year-old person, they might go, oh, yeah, from Skyrim. First road off.
Fair point. But yeah, I just found that really interesting that it was the first one where we were saying, right, hey, are you going to do something to promote our game for us? And someone did it.
They would never be able to do that today for one very simple reason.
Why's that?
They can't get the launch date right.
Yeah.
It's like, oh no, we've had to delay it for 3 weeks. We've had to delay it for 6 months.
Or even worse, the game gets cancelled by a certain company that buys all sorts of studios and
doesn't know how to run them properly. Yeah. I mean, not saying anything Microsoft, but
all right. Yeah. I've got one here. Do you remember Homefront?
I do remember Homefront. This is wasn't there one called Liberation where you were repelling a North Korean invasion? Was that game?
Well, I think this was that game. There was a second game as well. And look, of all the things that probably were controversial about that game, this promo I'd never even heard of, right? And again, kind of building up to the level of some of these. But this was, so back in 2011, THQ promoting the new game Homefront. So what did they think about doing? Well, the developers...
Invading a country?
Well, no, actually, fortunately, not that bad.
Might have been funnier.
The developers... Well, at the Game Developers Conference, in San Francisco, they decided to stage a fake protest with musical accompaniment in which thousands of balloons were released with notes telling those that got bombarded with them to pre-order the title at GameStop. The problem? Well, the balloons all deflated, ended up in the San Francisco Bay, causing a mini eco-disaster, and they were fined $7,000 at the time. Now, this is...
That should be $7,000 per piece.
Well, do you know what I mean? It's like, they could have... That's pocket change for them, right?
Dead whales with balloons deflated in their air holes and just like, oh my God.
Yeah. So when things went wrong, GameStop was quick to say it had no knowledge of the promotion.
What game? We don't sell games.
Games?
What are you talking about?
And THQ noted the balloons were 100% organic product and 100% biodegradable. The marketing company, Trash Talk FCM, took responsibility for the incident and assisted in the cleanup. Now, the thing is, this was back in the day, so social media was a thing. GameStop's official statement was, we understand the concerns consumers have regarding the impact balloons can have on the environment. However, the balloon stunt in San Francisco was created by THQ, again, passing the buck. The publisher of Homefront and GameStop had no prior knowledge of it. THQ has since informed us they released soy-based biodegradable balloons. Comments and queries should be directed to THQ Media Relations. Twitter reaction, of course, being what it is. Someone said, and I didn't get the person, but it said, at GameStop just released a couple of 100 balloons in downtown San Francisco, presumably a promotion for their new game, Fish Choker. Which isn't funny, but it's like...
It's a little bit. I mean, what... I love their slight get out clause there at the beginning where they went, yeah, no, it's 100% organic. It's rubber. All fucking rubber's 100%. It comes from a plant. Like, it's fine. It won't kill anyone apart from all those fishes. Fuck them.
But and that's the thing, and it's like, also the fact is the balloons may have been, say, degradable, which we said they are, but they also had cards on them, right, or notes that were being...
I think paper would probably dissolve, though, would it?
Yeah, but again, if that's all going to get in the water, or
I think the turtles, they've got bigger problems, all the microplastics. I mean, Christ.
Well, very big plastics in this, or
very big rubbers.
One. But again, it's just the thing about...
It's dumb, innit? It's just fucking stupid. I mean...
litter the environment.
Yeah, it's like I'm not going to put any forethought into what I'm doing, but it might sell a couple of copies of the game. Because who are those... I mean, really, where are those things going to land? People's backyards, maybe on a pavement. Do you pick paper up from the pavement, Dan? I don't know. I don't. Not generally.
Not unless it's legal tender.
Attach some notes to that bad boy, and now you're talking. Dan is there in a shot. Is that a 50? I'm having that. Oh, buy a game? I ain't wasting it. It's not on the home front.
Yeah. So that was an example of pollution. That pollution.
Pollution.
Yeah.
Try saying that 3 times quickly.
If I say this one, I wonder if it might jog your memory. God of War 2.
I mean, I've certainly played the game many times.
Well, sacrificial goat for this one. So we're going to go back for 2007.
I think I've heard of this one.
No.
Maybe a good thing.
And the God of War 2 launch showcase held in Athens, Greece. Now, I'm going to mention a publication here, which most people, please keep tuned in.
Hang on. God of War, you mean the original PlayStation's God of War?
Yeah.
Sorry,
no.
You. So
yeah,
not,
the original.
not the cool God of War. The older. I've played them all, but I wasn't aware because I got the PlayStation later and I caught up with God of War. So that's probably why. Tell me, this is new.
Back in 2007. So the Daily Mail, which some people will say they're not a news outlet, but they broke the news, although they didn't attend the event. Right, so that'll be important later.
Better than second-hand news.
Yeah, that'll be important later. But they did publish pages from the official UK PlayStation magazine, which did run it. So here's how the Daily Mail described it. So guests at the event were invited to basically reach inside a decapitated goat, inside its still warm carcass to eat offal from its stomach. At the events, guests...
So far, so good.
Yummy. They got food. At the event, guests competed to see who could eat the most offal, procured elsewhere and intended to resemble the goat's intestines.
Sure.
They also threw knives at targets and pulled live snakes from a pit with their bare hands. Topless girls added to the atmosphere by dipping grapes into guests' mouths, while a male model portraying Kratos, the game's warrior hero, handed out garlands.
I mean, it's just getting better and better. Where do I sign up?
Well, Sony initially responded by apologising for the event. They recalled 80,000 copies of the magazine and promised an internal investigation. So, Joystick website, I think claimed that some of the facts were wrong. Most of the Daily Mail article was based on a promotional flyer, not what actually happened at the event.
Sure.
But they did have a dead goat. So no food was served from the goat's stomach, but they did get an already dead goat to have displayed at this launch event.
What, headless? Or just a stuffed goat?
No, I think it was headless. I think it was mutilated, for want of a better term.
Right.
So they said there was never a question of journalists being able to touch the goat or indeed eat soup directly from the body of the goat. The magazine reportedly chose only the most ridiculous shots possible. That's it. Sony admitted it messed up with that kind of promotion, and they say they recognise the use of a dead goat was in poor taste and fell below the high standards of conduct we set ourselves. We are conducting an inquiry to establish circumstances and so on and so on. They apologise for anyone offended by the article in the magazine. So, yeah, they basically used a dead goat to promote the game at a launch party.
Firstly, it's really unlike the Daily Mail to tell a load of porkies when they're trying to spin a story out Should
we say allegedly? We haven't got lawyers yet.
Allegedly, yeah. I mean, even though someone's come out and gone, they were talking bollocks, but allegedly.
If you know a lawyer, please. Yeah,
but because they do it all the time, allegedly.
Yeah.
But they didn't they turned it into a dead goat offal eating contest when that clearly wasn't even what happened in the first place. All right, Sony, bunch of dicks. Why did you do that? Why did you get dead goat in the first place? Again, we keep going back to I think it's the same boardroom. The one we talk about all the time where someone comes up with a bright idea and goes, oh, I know. What we'll do is to decapitate a goat and we'll stick that on a stand for people to look at.
Yeah.
Sorry, what's that got to do with God of War? Well, Greeks, they did that all the time, didn't they, back in the ancient days? What are you talking about? It's a bit of a mad thing to do, but also very naughty of the British press to be making it something it wasn't. I mean, and disappointing. If I'd have turned up there and there was no half-naked women, giving me grapes.
Yeah, and look, the animal, I think we need to be clear, was already dead, but does that matter?
Well, we don't need to. We didn't do it, Dan. It's fine. Don't take responsibility for it.
So what I'm trying to say, I'm not implying that, yes, Sony did actually slaughter a lamb or a goat. But it's just, again, it's you just said it, you hit the nail on the head. It's like, it's going for that shock factor, but at what point does it register that maybe we're going a bit too far? And that's what I was trying to say at the start. Did gaming have a bit of an identity crisis because they're like trying to be edgy? Well, we're doing much more mature games. Well, we can do some really crazy.
Yeah, but how does that even sell a game? That's kind of, where's the tenuous link? It's like, because from the sounds of it, it was the press that were there.
But that's it. It's one of these press junkets, and they love a theme, and they probably all these things. It was probably seen as something really clever and shocking. And
maybe, but they recorded 80,000 copies of a magazine because of it.
Yeah,
that's not cheap.
Yeah. I
mean, dick move. Like, do you know what I mean?
Well, almost 20 years later, the two of us are talking about it, so it's done something.
Let's be clear. You were talking about it. I was listening, as you told me to do.
This next one I didn't know about, and I'm still in awe that they did this, right?
Okay. Well, that sounds exciting.
Right. Splinter Cell Conviction, right?
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So here, this is based in Auckland, New Zealand, and a man was hired to point an imitation pistol at drinkers in a bar.
What?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
When you said "or," you meant shock, right?
Yes. Sorry. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
good. Just get that clear with people.
Yeah.
Dan wasn't thinking he's going to go out and get an imitation pistol and point at people.
I'm like, how, what, So he did
Same
find
boardroom.
himself. Well, he found himself arrested by armed police. The toy gun-wielding actor was pulling a stunt to promote Splinter Cell Conviction and was arrested with an accomplice on the scene. They got off lightly, although the police were pretty pissed off. They issued cautions rather than do anything more severe. But the bar manager said, so not only did they hire a guy to point a gun, they actually, I think, bandaged his hands up with fake bloody bandages, right, to make it look even sell the point. And then he was pointing guns at customers that were sitting outside. The games promoter Monaco Corporation, which said it hired another company to organise the event. There we go, another bit passing the buck.
Was it the same one that did the balloons?
Yeah, well, no, but I think the same lawyer said that they didn't know a gun would be used. We do apologise. We shouldn't have had guns down there. It was just marketing gone wrong. I mean, I still find this incredible, this one.
Maybe the understatement of the year there. Gone wrong. It's just a slight hiccup. I mean, also, burying the lead slightly, Dan, Splinter Cell, notoriously a fucking stealth game. I mean, it would have been all the better if he just carried the gun around and didn't show anyone.
Yeah. Or he just walked in with the night vision goggles or something.
Sam Fisher. Was he a Sam Fisher lookalike? Was that the intent? Because Conviction is the one where he gets arrested and escapes, and hence the bloody hands, I guess. I never played it.
Do you know what?
I didn't play that one.
I don't know, but I'm also trying to look at what year this was quickly now. This was
2007, like that?
No, 2010 actually. So, 2010? We're in the height of sort of some of these big events happening, like tragedies happening. And, at what point do you think...
mad thing to do.
Yeah. But, they said it was gone wrong. I mean, they bandaged his hands up to make it look even more like there was something sinister going on. So they knew exactly what they were doing.
I mean, holding the weapon's a dead giveaway.
Well, yeah.
Fake or not.
Yeah. And
there's something going on. That guy's got bloody hands. What's that in his hand?
Actually, a gun wasn't supposed to be involved. Well, what was the promo going to be then? A man walks into a bar?
Just a man was quick, get him to A&E. What was it?
He just walks in and says,
joke, Dan.
Buy Splinter Cell, and walks out. I mean, no. I think this, to a much bigger level, is what I was trying to say with the Bethesda one, the naming the kid. It's where it starts now infringing. They're trying to blur the line between gaming and real life, right?
Yeah. Oh, just a little. I mean, people there weren't told this was. It's not a flash mob. It's not people dancing, breaking out into song and dance. It's just someone waving a pistol, albeit not a loaded gun around in front of a bunch of people who are trying to enjoy their meal outside a pub or whatever.
Yeah,
fucking lunacy.
Yeah, and the terror. I mean, something bad could have happened. I mean, to him. I mean, if somebody
totally,
tried to tackle him. Or they called armed police.
What sort of lunatics does it take to take that gig? Because they're hiring people to do it. They're like, "What's the gig? Well, we're gonna bandage your hands up and put you in an overcoat. Oh, all right, that's about. And you're gonna go to a pub. Okay, yeah, sounds all right so far. And you take the gun. So what? You're gonna take a gun. And what am I doing with it? You're gonna wave it around at some people. Oh, sure, that sounds like fucking. Yeah, how much am I being paid? I mean, you'd have to pay me a fucking shitload of money. I wouldn't do it anyway.
And what's the game? Super Mario, right?
Yeah. There is a small chance in the small print. There is a small chance of a criminal record at the end of this gig.
Is it worth it? Is it worth it? No, that's incredible. That's incredible.
It's mad.
But I'm going to take you to one a bit more local to us now, Dan.
Oh, okay. Just down the road.
Well, a bit
Hertfordshire,
a bit further away. No, so this happened in London. I think Finsbury Park.
Okay, no, we know it well.
Mercenaries 2, EA. So EA's get on the list. They're not. I mean, so do you remember this one?
I don't remember Mercenaries. No, was it a third-person shooter thing?
I think it was, and I believe it was like in like a South American sort of shooter game. It was based around fuel, I think. Oh, it's handling my notes.
Oh, what? In local to Finsbury Park then?
No, I mean, yeah. Well, what the promotion was, so the promotion was to give away free fuel, free petrol, right?
Gotcha.
So but the problem was it caused gridlock after hundreds of drivers queued at a single petrol station. This was for an hour to get £40 of free fuel, which now £40 would be nothing, right? So computer games publisher Electronic Arts took over a petrol station in Finsbury Park, North London, intending to give away £20,000 of petrol on a first-come, first-served basis to promote Mercenaries 2 World in Flames. The operation, which started at 6:30 a.m, had to be abandoned at 11 a.m. after police decided the jam was blocking a major junction. They had managed to give away £13,000 worth of petrol before it was closed down. And the problem was it had a queue of over 100 cars developing, causing tailbacks during rush hour and leading to complaints from residents. One commuter says, "I just want to get to work," after waiting for 10 minutes to get out of his drive.
I just want to get to work, for fuck's sake. I don't care about video games.
Couldn't get out of his car. And the company decorated the garage forecourt with oil barrels, camouflage netting and an army jeep. Petrol pumps were manned by...
It looks so lame as well.
in this country, it would look so half-hearted, wouldn't it, in this country?
I'm sorry. I really struggle with some of this stuff because I just don't get it. What percentage, right? Say they gave away, I don't know, 200 different drivers.
Mm.
How many of those drivers do you think went on to buy Mercenaries 2 by EA?
None of them.
That's what I mean.
They probably used that car.
The link is so tenuous. It's like you might as well abandon it.
They probably used that car to go buy a game that wasn't.
Exactly. I don't get it, Dan. I don't understand. Please explain it. I don't get it.
But this is but it goes on. It goes on. Petrol pumps were manned by attendants dressed in flak jackets and ammunition belts carrying plastic machine guns.
They wouldn't be allowed on the forecourt.
No.
Take the risk of fire hazard.
I can't use my phone, and they're allowed to rock up with flak jackets.
Belts and grenades hanging from them.
The MP for Hornsey and Wood Green at the time, Lynn Featherstone, called on the firm to apologise for the chaos. Trying to recreate Venezuelan-style fuel riots on the street of London is completely irresponsible and downright dangerous.
But very easy to do, apparently.
Whilst a lucky few might have got some free petrol, hundreds of residents have faced misery on their daily journeys. They deserve an apology.
So your local MPs are good for something, Dan.
But
They can
there
demand
is,
video games give apologies.
there was some motorists were happy though, to answer your point here. They've named it Bobby Weatherly, an electrician who had been queuing for an hour by 10 a.m. said, anything for £40. It should last me about a week. I'm late for work, but I phoned the boss. He seems to be okay with it. It's worth it.
Good old Bobby. And did you buy the game? Sorry, what? What game?
There's a game. What?
It's a game? I thought it was just free petrol. I thought the army were giving it away because the forecourt.
Yeah, so how's this? Dan, I'm going to be a few hours late in for work because I'm just trying to get some free petrol. You cool with that?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Why not? You know, does it come with a game?
Use that 40 quid to go to the job centre because you need a new job. Yeah.
Mate, does it get more? I bet this gets more bizarre than it.
There's
more.
Well, for that one, that's kind of where it ends. But
No, but I mean, are there more bizarre? It must get more bizarre.
There's a couple that are well, I'll tell you what, let's jump down to this one. It's car related as well.
Shouldn't have asked.
Do you remember the Burnout one? Do you know anything around Burnout 2?
Burnout and Burnout Paradise. Burnout 2 was probably my favourite actually with the crash scene. Did they crash stuff?
No, but what they
okay.
did do, so launch day again, 11th of October, was that not the same day as Skyrim? But basically, if you got caught speeding by a speed camera on that day, they would pay your fine.
I do remember this. I do remember this. Oh my God. That's insane. Didn't they get into trouble over this?
I think they did do. Yeah. So what they said was when Burnout 2 Point of Impact hits retail on October the 11th, publisher Acclaim said that it would refund the fines of any driver caught by speed cameras that day. The latest marketing stunt has been branded irresponsible and dangerous by the government.
Yeah.
If they want to foot what is likely to be a hefty bill, that is their choice, but we cannot condone something that so obviously encourages people to break the law and do something dangerous. Now, the same government spokesperson said basically they're encouraging people to speed and break the law. I just hope for their sakes that none of these people ends up knocking down a child. Now, on the company's side, Acclaim, they pled innocence and said they only want to ease the financial pain a bit, and that it's all in promoting a game which gives people a legitimate avenue to speed as fast as inhumanly possible in the game. Taking aside of people who enjoy driving fast, therefore seem quite logical to offer people caught by cameras something that would make them feel okay about it.
These people are fucking idiots. Have they not met human beings? Because if you tell them we'll do something before the event happens, they're going to go and fucking do it. If you say, I'll pay your speeding bill if you speed on this date, fuck it, I'll go and speed on that date then. If you'd have told them after the event, and gone, we will pay that as a part of this stunt, fair play, because the event's already happened. But fuck me, they must have met humanity. We're idiots.
Yeah.
What we are.
And that's the thing, right? You're spot on. If they'd have said, right, the game came out last week, if you got a speeding ticket on that day, send it here and we'll pay it
even
off.
Yesterday.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
it's still not right morally in a way, but you're not encouraging it.
But you're not saying it's all right to do.
Yeah, go on, go speed.
We'll get you. We'll actively get your license back if you're doing over 100 on the motorway.
Because the other thing is that I was thinking about this is it's all well and good paying the fine, but you're going to get. Most often, you're going to get points on your license, right?
Are they going to attend the class as well that you have to go, the speeding class?
Yeah, well, are they going to pay your increased insurance premiums next year?
No, but this is what I mean. Humanity's stupid. Fuck it, I got a free speeding ticket. Oh, what? My insurance has doubled.
But again,
I didn't think this through.
If you think about it, right, all these ones are around sort of like the 2007. When was this? Burnout 2. Burnout 2. Let's have a look.
Dan's doing his research on the fly.
I forgot to get this. So Burnout 2 was released. Oh, no, this was actually a lot earlier, 2002. Quite surprised at that. But again, it goes back to what you said. Someone in a room has said, brilliant idea. We've got a game about speeding cars. Let's tell people if they speed, we'll pay them.
But there's us two muggins here sitting here, right, with no idea of legals or anything like this. And this is a multi-million-pound firm that's got lawyers and everything. And some bozos come up with this plan, and they've even justified it after the fact. Oh, we just, it was easing the financial burden. Fucking wasn't. It wasn't easing your financial burden because all you wanted to do was make money. And so you were selling the Mickey to people to go, oh, well, don't worry, we'll pay. I mean, who signs this shit off? Who says that's okay to go and do?
Yeah.
Maybe I should suggest some more crazy shit at my workplace to see how it goes down.
Yeah, well, maybe maybe we can have a board meeting after we stop recording this to see what we can do. So,
I'm not sure there's enough alcohol on earth to come up with some of the shit that they do.
I don't think anything. I think everything's been done. Acclaim, they were known for some tasteless promotions though. So they had also done Deadvertising, which saw them bid for advertising space on Tombstone in exchange for help with funeral costs.
What game was that for?
I didn't get that. That was I did want to go on and have a look for that, but
Deadvertising. I see what they've done there. They've added DE to the front of advertising. It's just genius.
Yeah. So I don't know how many they did get or how many sort of people they encouraged, but like you said, people are stupid, and you're going to tell them to do something for a reward, they'll do that thing for a reward. Incredible, really,
Idiots.
isn't it?
All of us idiots.
What else is there? A couple more. This one was a weird one in terms of the amount of info I could get on it, but we've got Dante's Inferno. So EA are back again.
I played that a couple of years ago. I went through a few EA back catalogues. I think what I'd done is I played Dead Space 1, 2 and 3, and I was like, oh, what else have they done? And then there was Dante's Inferno was a bit Dead Spacey because this is EA again, isn't it? Yeah. And I was like, I'll give that a go. I quite enjoyed it. It was a bit samey, but it's one of those ones that you look at and you go, I wish they'd remake that because it'd be quite good.
Yeah.
But I don't know what advertising they did around it. I know there was a naked woman in it about 5 minutes into the story, and my wife was like, why are you watching a pair of tits on the TV? I was like, what? It's a video game.
Isn't it always the way, right? That could be literally 0.00001% of the game, but that's a moment that
Baldur's Gate 3. When I was doing a bit of romancing, my wife's like, why are you watching people having sex in a video game? I'm like, where did you come from?
Are you buying a sex game, Dan? Is this
Have you been on Steam? Sorry. Yeah.
No, well, it's kind of... Well, let me tell you what it is. So 2010, he says, not looking it up on his screen. So again, it's around that time. There was a boost.
That 12-year span that you've come up with so far.
Apart from that one game, that one Burnout 2.
Fair enough.
But this was at a San Diego Comic-Con.
Right.
EA set up a booth and they encouraged the convention goers to commit, quotes, acts of lust towards the models working at the booth or any other booth at the event. Well, this is the thing, or any other booth at the event whose booth babes weren't actually aware of this promotion. Participants then had to post the pictures to social media or email them to EA. Now, the creators of the contents clarified they merely meant taking pictures, not actual lusty ones with the models, and judges even reserved the right to refuse any submissions that were inappropriate. But just saying that means they knew they were going to get some that were potentially inappropriate.
I'd imagine about 90% of them were inappropriate, knowing the sort of people who attend these sort of things.
Yeah. Now
I've been. So
but before you cast any other views on this at the moment, so try explaining.
Different show, Dan. Different show.
Try explaining that to the guys who only read the title and not the fine print. Worse still, the contest's grand prize further encouraged the potential for sexual misconduct, as it was stated to be dinner and a sinful night with 2 hot girls, a limo service, paparazzi, and a chest full of booty. Their words. So yeah, this basically, somebody said here, encouraging sexual assault, promising sex, treating women like objects. Yeah, this gross and sexist contest checked every box of the lust sin bingo. It was a terrible idea that should never have happened.
They're basically offering escorts for an evening.
Yeah, but basically. But the thing is, especially, I mean, even if the EA booth women knew what was coming up, the fact that they said to do it to other ones who weren't aware of what this promo was, that's bang out of order right there, right? And
it's mad.
It's just incredible, isn't it? And we said before, the whole booth babes thing went many years ago, didn't it? Because people realised it was outdated. But when you got stuff like this happening, I mean, imagine again, right? And look, I'm sure they said in the fine print, don't do this. But like I said, people are going to read the headline, and like I said, people are stupid. But how many people would have taken that or could have potentially taken that as a green light to?
Please come and sexually assault our models. Yeah, because that's blatantly what it's saying, right? Without reading into it, reading that, and we all do the thing with the T's and C's where we're like, I'll just scroll through that, get to the agreement thing, done. And it's the same principle. That's fucking atrocious, man. I'm gobsmacked at that. Like, fuck me, who doesn't think these things through?
But do you not think, though, it's possibly also a sign of the times? Now, I'm trying to put my mind back in the sense of the whole lad culture, and was it a part of that? And again, I'll go back to
Loaded magazine and all that. Yeah. Let's.
Yeah, was this, when I go back to talking about the identity crisis, was it, the lad culture is really booming in like music and magazines?
Yeah.
Let's bring it into games. But, the difference being like magazines and that, the women, I would like to say 99% were in control of that. Whereas here,
I don't even know if that's true. You hear some of the horror stories coming out now about those sort of times and what women were subjected to about it. I mean, it's just turned into a very different podcast, but it was, it's fucking atrocious. So I don't even know if that was true. And so you can imagine, you're basically giving people written permission is what it feels like in that, for the sake of a fucking few sales of a video game.
Yeah. And let's remember, the women who would have been hired to man these booths were there just to do promo work, right?
Yeah.
They weren't there.
Not be fucking manhandled and abused by a fucking bunch of horny teenagers. Or journalists, as they're called.
But that wasn't the only thing they did to promote that game that got a bit of furore. Not as bad as that one.
Oh, okay.
Not as bad as that.
I want to be able to sleep tonight, Dan. I love gaming, and you're making me hate it.
No, but on top of that, EA sent checks of $200 to specific journalists, games journalists, all stylized and posing the conundrum whether you cashed it or got rid of them. Either way, you'd be committing a sin of avarice or prodigality. That both fall under greed.
They're making up words.
Yeah, despite the stylized presentation, an awkward attempt to tie it in with the theme of the game, it reeked of bribery. Kotaku famously burned a check while Joystick cashed it in and donated the proceeds to a women's charity, which fair play to both of them. But again, it's that last line that made me think, yeah, they've done it as a really funny thing. It's like, we're sending you a $200 check. You're going to keep it. No, you are trying to buy. And I wonder, I'd love to have seen the ratio of reviews scores to those who.
I don't think it did very well, but you're right. If you could see the ones who did cash in, mind you, $200. Mind you, journalists. I mean, they're not the most notoriously well paid people in any industry, are they? So maybe it is. Maybe it is a way to do it, but that's a bit fucking sneaky.
I think there's just two more, and they're not as bad. They're not as bad as this now. So I tried to.
You've done a shit sandwich.
Yeah, I tried to.
It's
and
all
again,
right.
I think
really
you raise
bad.
a good point.
Right.
I think you raise a good point. Look, again, this isn't to crap on our hobby, but I think it's just to show the journey that gaming has taken. Right.
Yeah.
I mean, even though like in the 2010s, it was 40 years in, it's still trying to find out what it could or couldn't do.
Oh, it started bad enough. I mean, it started with boob controllers, right, Dan? So, I mean, and Custer's Last Stand, where you were basically, the aim was to try and sexually assault a Native American. Fucking hell.
But it's also, I think, possibly a window into society as well at the time, right?
Yeah.
In terms of like the ideas we could get away. But anyway, look.
Fucking appalling in 2010, wasn't it?
Yeah, you look back at it now. Resident Evil 6.
I got married that year. That's not why I'm saying it. Fuck. My wife's outside the door going, I'm going to fucking have him when he comes out.
Yeah, maybe don't unsubscribe her for this episode, maybe.
She doesn't follow us anymore, man.
Resident Evil.
Don't know what YouTube is like.
Resident Evil 6. So they had this. It was headed meaty and disgusting. So
this is the Baker household. This is
no. 6 was, I can't remember that. It was an unforgettable
6
one.
is the Baker.
I thought 7.
Household.
I thought that was 7.
No, that's Village.
I thought that was
Village
8
because it was 7.
No, that was 8. Yeah.
You
It was, yeah, because it was VI and then 2 eyes were the L's, weren't they? 2 eyes were the L's. Yeah, no, Resident Evil 6 was the dodgy cover, the giraffe.
You've done it again. You've had a stroke, didn't you? The giraffe. That was Last of Us, surely. That's the only giraffe I know in video games.
People listening, no. Google right now, Resident Evil 6 cover giraffe.
My brain's just melted. No, Resident Evil 6 with the giraffe.
Resident Evil 6 cover giraffe.
I'm doing it. Giraffe meme. Oh, right, giraffe. Sorry. I've just realised what you're talking about.
I mean, that could actually be a controversial thing in its own self, but yeah.
I mean, it's that. Now I've gone down a rabbit hole because now I've got man blowing a giraffe.
Well, that's exactly what the whole thing was. The whole meme about it was, but it is supposedly a number 6. So, yeah. So
if it's drawn by someone with a debilitating problem with their right hand or left hand, the lefty's hand.
Right, so we're going to 2012 again, within that time period. So they actually...
Tell I don't play Resident Evil much.
This is probably the best conversation or sort of bit of dialogue we've had on here. Giraffe. This was again in London.
Right.
So in Smithfield Market. So they basically they used a real butcher to set up a space to promote the game with what they called human flesh. So called Wesker and Son.
If Lady Gaga could do it.
Yeah, called Wesker and Son. The butchery, which was open for a short time to promote the game, was a pop-up store selling meat products, simulating human body parts as a promotion for the launch of the game that week. Customers were able to sample and buy the meat, which included peppered human and lemon sausages, Javo court human thigh steaks, as well as pots of red herb and green herb, which in London you probably don't want to be advertising that, right?
No.
Yeah, and
herbs?
Yeah, in a further clever move, Capcom will keep none of the proceeds from the store. Instead, it will go to the Limbless Association, a UK group that provides support and information to those who've lost a limb. Now, I think this wasn't sort of deemed controversial, etc., but it was seen as sort of fairly outrageous.
Cannibalism.
Well, it wasn't real. It wasn't real human. It was like minced meat and stuff shaped into body parts. People were also
That's
invited.
What they told you, Dan.
Yeah. Sweeney Todd. Resident Evil fans were also invited to attend 2 days of lectures at St. Bartholomew's Hospital Pathology Museum. It's as it was described here, it was a wonderfully gruesome promotion, and the one regret this publication had was it only appeared in London. So, what do you think of what that was?
It's not that bad. I mean, it's no. I mean, I joke about it, but it's no worse than some of the stunts that they've done at like London dungeons and stuff like that. You know, it's not. You know, you talk about Sweeney Todd and things like that, and some of the things you say. I mean, they do all this stuff where you go for a supper evening and it's we'll make pretend food. So, I mean, fuck me, it sounds like something Heston Blumenthal had come out, to be honest. So, I'm alright with it.
Yeah, it kind of ties in with the theme of the games, doesn't it? Resident Evil, and they used the money.
I mean, you'd been better off doing it for 8 with the Baker's thing, or 7, sorry, with the Baker's thing, wouldn't you? Because you'd have the whole, that was a bunch of cannibals.
I just don't think
Leatherface.
I just don't think they do it now. I just don't think they would do that.
Probably not.
But it's good they gave the money to a good charity, and it was. I kind of get the impression that this was a bit more tongue-in-cheek than anything some of the previous ones we've said, where it's gone all out to be controversial rather than to maybe be a bit shocking, like this one may have tried to do.
Yeah, I'd have been more shocked at the £1,000 leather jacket in a collector's edition. That's
Yeah, agreed. And I'll see the time, so I just want to finish with a quick one. And weirdly, in this one, the other game where people got to change their name, I mentioned it in here. It was Turok.
Yes, Turok. Yes, yeah, the dinosaur hunter.
Yeah, and 5 fans did legally change their name to Turok.
That was a cash reward, wasn't it, that one?
I think it was. This was part of another one.
Right.
A Sega one here. But Acclaim is the publisher, so it's Virtual Tennis 2.
What? Yeah, change the name on that.
No, it's not a bad one as such, but again, it was one where again, you probably couldn't do it now, but what they did, so to market Virtua Tennis 2 at Wimbledon, and they did get Wimbledon's permission to do this, but what they did, they got a number of homing pigeons, and they spray painted the logo onto these pigeons and launched them over Wimbledon.
Jesus Christ.
This was 2003.
They'll have Peter after him.
Yeah,
Like-
yeah. It's 2003. The specially trained pigeons would be branded in a harmless and water-based paint that will cause no harm at all. They assured that no pigeons suffered in the making of its stunt. And yeah, it was used over 2003 Wimbledon. So yeah.
Jesus Christ. Oh, the heady days of advertising. You know, back when you could spray paint pigeons and fucking eat offal from a dead goat's stomach. You know, I mean, he doesn't miss those days, Dan.
Yeah, and like I said, I think the reason for doing this is I just think it's fascinating to see. I think I said it, just to see the journey that gaming has gone down, and hopefully we've learnt from the past, right? But
I don't know. I think there's still some reasonably controversial things that gaming publishers do and do some, you know, and try and do silly stunts. But I think there's such a hyper awareness about, I don't want to call it political correctness, but it, you know, these whole, you know, these like fucking snowflakes, or you're a, you know, or you're a, you know, whatever it is, you know, you're woke, or you're, you know, there's so much hyper awareness around this stuff these days that people are less willing to try and be edgy or try and, you know, be cool or whatever it is they think it is they're doing. And also, I'm not sure people really buy into it. I mean, pretty much most of the stuff you've talked about would not have persuaded any single one who wasn't already going to buy that game in question to buy that game in question. Yeah. So essentially, you might as well have pissed all that money out the wall that you spent on it, or spent in legal fees after it.
Yeah. And
because you didn't get a sale from it.
No, and like I said, it's just not going to work anymore. I mean, if you think about the two adverts I said that have stuck out in my mind were the Gears of War one, which was just a really well-crafted advert, and the Dead Island one, which again, like I said, that had controversy, I think mainly because it featured sort of a young girl, a young daughter being a zombie,
yes.
I think. Yeah. But also, I think the fact that it wasn't real gameplay, so I think it conned a lot of people into, not conned, but it misled people into what they thought the game was going to be. But in terms of the advert, you know, we've said, I think there's a line between we can have mature advertising, but some of the examples I've seen are either just absolutely insane or tried for that shock factor, right?
Yeah, I mean, most of those are shock factor, aren't they? But they're off the wall fucking insane. Like I said, I don't understand anyone who comes up with this shit. And you know, it's like they brought the village idiot in to suggest ideas, and they've all just sat around there like nodding noggins, going, "Yeah, that's a good idea," and then they go and fucking do it.
Yeah.
But don't worry, we've paid a different firm to do it, so it won't come back on us.
Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? And then that firm say they've pushed it onto someone else. So it's third hand now, isn't it?
It's fucking nonsense.
But all I'll say before we go is if you or anyone you know got £40 of free fuel at Finsbury Park back in 2010 or 11, honestly, get in touch. If anyone did sort of know or see or knew anyone that kind of,
or if you named your kid Dovahkiin or Turok, if your name is Turok, get in touch with Game Reviews. Or if you know someone called Turok, send our condolences.
Yeah, and if you want to name your kids Gaming Views, we're not going to give you anything. But you know,
but Dan's a good name.
Yeah.
Speaking for the both of us.
Yeah, or Dan. If you don't want to call him Dan,
right. No,
you can call him Dan.
You can name him after you and call him Dan. You're right. Sorry. Yeah.
All right, look, Dan, that is me done.
I only have one thing to say, but just the one thing I've got to say is I think you have subliminally taken on board the things I was saying about Will-O-the-Wisp during and I will mention it again, our Ianly episode. At the end, we talked about the Moog, and I said the Moog is a character from Will-O-the-Wisp, and I flashed up a picture of it on there. Do watch the episode if you get the chance. And this evening, you have drawn Evil Edna from Will-O-the-Wisp on your board behind you.
It's a TV.
So I think subconsciously Will-O-the-Wisp is in your head now. Evil Edna. from one of the West people.
Well, you can't
It's a good
see
TV.
because I did that quite late on. What I did try to do was draw the Xbox logo in it, but it came out, even though it's ultimately an X in a circle, it came out really bizarre. So I got rid of that. So
I mean, I would dispute that anyone has ever had a TV with one of those aerials on top. I think that's a made up thing. Don't think anyone's ever done that. I had a coat hanger in the back of my TV once. Sorry.
yeah, we're
That's
really
it. That's all I'd
digressing.
say.
Yeah. All right, look, thank you, Dan, as always, and thank you.
No, thank you. That was a wonderful trip. I enjoyed that.
Thank you for all those if watching and
Mad
listening.
bastard.
As Dan said, please do make sure you, if you're not, you press that subscribe button, the little bell on
Little bell as well.
YouTube, the follow
Notifications, yeah.
button, whatever it is on whatever you're listening to, however you're
Press it
listening to
all.
us. Just
Press button.
press everything.
Especially
and,
X, A, Y, and B.
yeah, press everything.
Or
Up,
triangles,
down,
correct.
down, left, right, A, B, isn't it?
Oh, God.
There you go. All right. That's a reference.
Cheat
for
code
the,
enabled, Dan.
That's a reference for the young'uns out there. Right. Yeah. Well, catch us next week then for another episode of Gaming Views.
That's half an hour.
Dan and Dan with a gaming flair, pixel dreams and worlds to share, joystick tales and button cues. Welcome to Gaming Views.
That was funny. 3, 2, 1, back in the room. Are you actually playing it?
I am,
Okay,
but I've
yeah.
realised I've not put it on live, so it's not going to come through.
I was just sitting patiently until you're done. I'm going to have a fucking random. Da-da-da. Red one. Right.
I'm just going to stop it now.
While I'm eating. Well, cheers.
We'll let it go.
Fine. It's one of those nights. Let's take that out there so it doesn't make loads of noise.